Hello and welcome to another episode of the Captain's Table. My name is Paul Berserker01, Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the AstroPub. I'm joined by two folks who are not new. They've both have been on the Captain's Table before. But we've got a very interesting show today. But before we get to that whole aspect, I want to start with introductions. We're going to start with Anna. Anna, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you? Don't we all? Oh, hold on. I had you muted. Let's try it again.
What?
Yes, I screwed that up.
What
Professional.
do you need to repeat?
Professional. Just introduce yourself, who you are, and that kind of such.
Okay, I did say, hi, I'm Anna Demetrio. I am a voice actor in Star Citizen. I also do a lot of mocap for Star Citizen, and I then subsequently became a content creator, and I stream it once a week. There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you said you've been to the new studio,
yes, I took loads. I actually took a load of footage of it to make a little YouTube video, and then they told me that I can't post about it until they have. So I have to wait for them first before I can make my video.
All right.
And then they take ages to do
2 years later.
2 years later.
That is CIG. So the question I have, without violating any NDAs.
Yes.
Because you've been through many different mocap studios, right? Because you've done this a couple times.
No, actually, I do more just straight voices than mocap. But the times that I have done mocap have both been, I think, almost all been. I did one thing for someone else, but all been for Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. Okay. How does it compare to their previous facilities that you've done?
Oh, it's wild. It's insane. It's insane. I walked in and I literally stopped breathing, and they were like, "I know." Like they even looked at me and were like, "I know." Because it's just, I believe now they told me statistically it's now the biggest mocap studio in the United Kingdom.
Like bigger than professional movie cap, like bigger than like Pinewood and that sort of things.
It was UK or Europe, I can't remember, but it's absolutely massive. Like it's so big. It's so big. Maybe it's just UK, but it was huge, and it was still being worked on. There's builders all over the place. There's sawdust everywhere. It's still like they had to pause drilling so that we could start filming, and then carry on drilling again. And then sometimes they would still drill, and we'd have to be like, "Stop drilling."
And for context, for people who are watching this live or afterwards, this studio is right next to their soundstage. They do ISC and the new video stuff on now, and it's right next to. It's like apparently like there's like a skyway that connects it from it to the actual studio itself. So I don't know. Did you go into the actual studio, or is it just the mocap?
I was literally brought through, so it's not even on Google Maps yet because it's still so unfinished. So again, that was a few months ago now. Maybe it's different, but like I was brought through like a cafe. So I had to go through about 3 established buildings, out the other side, down into a construction site where there's like cement and like scaffolding and wires, and then into a door that just said like CIG with an arrow stuck on the door, and then through past a load of builders wearing like hard hats and more sawdust and drilling and things with like electrical circuitry pouring out the ceiling. And then there was like a green room and a place for me to get changed and a kitchen.
Sound like a big you almost got kidnapped.
It's like they're doing room by room. So like there was a few rooms that were finished and that's what we used. But on either side of that, I didn't see anything else, and it was all just like rubble still.
So as Chat's saying, it was Grimhex. You went through Grimhex.
It was literally Grimhex with just with slightly more blood, I think.
Slightly more blood than Grimhex.
Dead bodies.
It's awesome. I'm looking forward to that video. Hopefully, Jared.
Yeah,
make the video. Release the video, Jared.
Do you mind if I film this? Can I just put so I filmed whilst he was putting on all the lights and the dots on my face and all that stuff, and I filmed some stuff, and it's so nice to they didn't mind at all. And actually they said I could post it all the way up until I was about to leave, and then one person said, "Oh, no, you shouldn't," but everyone else has said, yeah, and then he went no. So I was like, oh. So I think I have to wait till he said November is when they're gonna do like an inside Star Citizen thing and show it. After that, I can talk about it and show you.
Thank you. Please do post it. I was going to say thank you, Jared. Thank you for ruining the fun. We could have seen this footage earlier. Huh?
Is he here?
Jared? No, he's not here.
God damn it.
I mean, he might be. They could be lurking. I don't know. This is the danger of being of streaming like this and being doing this a long time, is that a lot of people who are in chat who have been watching me. I ended up working for CIG, so there could be members of CIG staff who are watching me right now. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm gonna be careful. Be careful what I say.
Anything bad, I swear.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. How you doing?
Though Jared does like to watch every so often just to make sure, like, to be mom, to be space mom, to tell us what we can and can't do or can't say.
Mommy.
Yes. Yeah. We'll call Jared Space Mommy. That is 100% what I'm going to be calling him from now on. So
I'm sure he'll love that.
Yes. And then we have Eralia. Eralia, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? Where can they find you?
Well, just like Anna, I don't know. I've been doing this for 2 years. It's kind of what got me into streaming after college. During COVID, when everyone was bored, and I got swindled into this by one of my mods who was like, "You're a nerd, you'd like this," and I was like, "Oh boy." He was like, "If I won this giveaway," so my giveaways work, okay, contrary to popular belief. He was like, "If I won this giveaway, would you play?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then, long story short, he didn't win the giveaway, but I bought the game anyways, so we're here. I play on and off depending on the season. So I, in the past, did PvP like in 2020. I was pretty active in that. And then I took some breaks, and here and there I just bounty hunt pretty much. And they can find me on twitch.tv/Eralia. It's Eralia on Twitter. And then on YouTube, I'm just Eralia as well. So
I've heard a couple of things. Number one, CIG has declared that you are the Queen of Kleischer. That is an official CIG announcement, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yes, there's yeah. I do a little bit more than bounty hunt. I like breaking video games, and most of that ends me up in Kleischer. So yeah.
To be fair, playing Star Citizen ends people in Kleischer these days. The UEEs and its oppressive dictatorship is very obvious sometimes.
True. It's true.
And I heard you also been raising money for Stack Up. How did that go recently?
That was awesome. Yeah, for Veterans Day, I serve in the military full time, and so I am very passionate about the cause. And my community raised a couple $1,000s for veterans yesterday, which was pretty neat. They are incredible people and very giving. So it's awesome. Even though I'm a part-time Andy, they're very supportive, and I'm glad that they are supportive of a cause that I support.
Awesome.
Mega pog.
We usually do a big, I usually am the coordinator for it, and I just didn't have time this year, but we usually do a big like Star Citizen streamer event where we all raise money for Stack Up. So I know. Yeah,
I did that in 2020 for, I think you were probably the coordinator or Burks or something, but I did that back in the day as well. Yeah,
so hopefully we'll do it next year, but I'm glad someone else was able to do it. It's like, yes, raise some more money for it.
I played Star Marine the whole time, so I don't know if it counts.
It's a game. It's part of the game. What I was going to say, the topic for today. The topic for today is Star Citizen as an experience, and I'm going to lay this out a little bit just so chat and the viewers can see it. I've got a theory that I believe that experiential gamers, people who play a game to experience it, not necessarily to play the mechanics, but to either get enwrapped in the game or to get competitive or whatever. Like the means or the purpose of the game is to play the experience that the game is giving rather than just play the mechanics. And Star Citizen is in a unique position, I think, for this sort of gameplay experience. But I wanted to ask, I asked Eralia and Anna to come on because I know both of them have play games frequently for that kind of experiential aspect, and they both have done very recent gameplay streams playing Plague Tale and Cyberpunk for that kind of experience. And since they both play Star Citizen, I wanted to get their own kind of thoughts on Star Citizen as an experience and what it's to be in the future. So Eralia, since you're the last person who introduced yourself, what is your own thoughts right now of Star Citizen as an experience?
So initially, I was definitely hooked by the experience that the game provided, kind of dropping you in a world where I know they're working on this, but genuinely there's no introduction, there's no tutorial. You're kind of forced to figure things out on your own and with the help of the people that you know or that introduce you to the game. And so that experience to me was very captivating because everything's unknown and it's got that explorative nature to it where you never know what's around every corner. You don't know what button to press. It's got everything that I like in a game because it forces you to just figure it out. And then the more that you figure out, the more beautiful it gets. You see your hangar. It's very realistic. You fly out and then you see the city and then you just traverse into space from the atmosphere seamlessly. I sound like I'm like giving a sales pitch. I'll get to the negative part.
It's available from the Space Industries website.
Make sure you
I'm
use
reading
a
off a
referral
script
code.
actually
Make sure
from
you
Chris.
But we'll get to the negative parts later. But we're just kind of going over the good experiences right now.
The experience is what hooked me in. The realism and my inner sci-fi geek, for sure, just appreciated the initial experiences.
Was there anything you'd compare it to in your own experience, based off of like previous game experiences or other, like maybe even movies? Was there anything you just said, "Wow, this seems like this," or whatever?
Not really. I didn't play a lot of video games prior to Star Citizen. I honestly was just like a diehard Minecraft, League of Legends type person. So this is one of my first big boy, big girl games, I guess. Big gamer games. So I don't have that, but I have been a Star Wars fan growing up. I watched that as a kid on VHS. So it definitely resonated with something like from my childhood, maybe just like I said, the sci-fi explorative nature of all of that. So Star Wars for sure.
Okay. Anna, same question. What is the experience like for Star Citizen? Like the good parts of the experience of Star Citizen, and if you could compare it to anything, what would you compare it to?
Oh, it's such a complicated question for me. I think because I've always only ever played it for the experience because I don't have like a PvP. I don't even have an MMO background. This is the only game I ever play online, ever. And it was the first game I ever played online, full stop. So it's like I'm looking for the kind of offline story RPG experience within the game, and that's what I kind of pick from it and kind of create my own kind of content from it. I guess in that way. So, but yeah, obviously the bugs try their best to prevent you having that experience as much as they can. But yeah, the good parts of the experience are that exploration, and I think that's always how I will take as much from it as possible. And the things that I do in Star Citizen are always either exploring or just finding stuff just testing the limits of what it can do where I haven't been before, like making it fun and just things like that. So I don't know if that answers the first part of the question, but when you said the second part of the question, when you said you compare it in what way to what to what?
Like when you first played it, were you just like, wow, this is just like Star Wars, Star Trek?
Well, yeah,
Mass Effect,
coming from a console, it was the first game I played on PC ever. So coming from a console story-based offline background, it was wild to me of how big it was. That the expanse of it was insane. I couldn't really wrap my head around how a game could be that big. And without the loading screens, especially, you realize how much loading screens kind of take you out of things for a second, and you remove that aspect of a game, and you suddenly do actually feel like you're there in a very different way, very, very different way. Loading screens, but we should get rid of them altogether. We should never have them ever again.
Agreed.
But it's amazing. And seeing how long it takes you to get from A to B really adds something very different. So yeah, it didn't feel like there was anything I could compare it to, really.
Okay. Now let's look at more of the negative aspects of the experience. Starting with you, Anna. What are some of the negative aspects? You said you kind of looking for that RPG narrative experience. Do you find that at all in Star Citizen, or is there where it falls down on its face for that?
No, I mean, there are elements to it. I think, especially now that you lose stuff when you die. I mean, I do hate that, but I also think it's nice in a way that it makes things feel a little bit more impermanent. That's not a word, is it? Impermanent?
I guess it is.
Is that a word?
I think it is. I think it's a word because there's
I
impermanence.
just made up a word.
Sounds very UK.
Listen, okay, crumpet. Crumpet. There was a time where Eralia, I was telling Eralia what a crumpet was, and she just decided to say it in this fake English accent that sounded very strange, but I love it. Crumpet.
I guess Chad doesn't know, like, for context, that me and Anna are friends, like, outside of this. So it's like we know each other very well.
That's
very, very well.
I feel like they do.
That's another reason why I asked both of them to come on, because at some point I said I was going to get Eralia and Anna to come on together, just because that was going to be I knew that was going to be a show that's going to derail itself. Like that, there will be no hinges on this stream. So be warned about that for those of you who are watching this after the fact. This is a hingeless stream.
The YouTuber podcast listeners aren't prepared. They're just like, I'm here for the war.
No one is prepared. Sorry,
yes.
but you were saying how does it provide an RPG experience? And I suppose it doesn't, but I mean, what I've been doing, for example, I think I've been doing this for about 8 months or so, is I've been just running through every single vehicle and ship in the game and rating them like a top trump card. That was just something I decided to do. So once a week, we just go through all of them in order. And generally, someone in chat has got the vehicle and they add to party, get the ship out, and we just do what the ship is designed to do. Whether that's, if it's cargo, we do a box mission. If it's a fighter, we do a bounty, or whatever it is. We just use it in the way that it's meant to be used, and then we just rate it. And that way it provides a list, like it provides something that I know I'm going to be doing each time. And because it's Star Citizen, everything takes 3 hours to do anything. So in I stream for about 5 hours. In 5 hours, we've rated 2 vehicles. And you would think that in any other game that would take such a short amount of time. But you do feel like you've crashed it. You've got to go back and get it again. You've got to use it. And you do have that. It almost creates a narrative of this is what we're doing. And I think when you have a game that is so open, you can put your own narrative onto it. And I think that's what I have done as a player and as a streamer of the game. And that's how I get the best out of it personally, I think. Yeah.
Is there any negative downsides, like any downsides to the experience?
I would love to just get into an elevator. That would be amazing.
And just have it not crash or not kill you every time.
It's always the hospital ones. I've just died. I've just been resuscitated. I walk to the elevator and I die again. So I need to remember to press the button and stand back. I just never stand too far back enough. But yeah, the bugs have become a fondness for me. I don't think I've ever raged at the bugs, actually. I know some people get really frustrated by it and it makes them want to turn the game off. I've not really had that moment. 30K'ing a lot in a row, that is frustrating because you can't actually get anywhere. But having a bug, there's often workarounds, and sometimes it's just funny. And especially if you're doing content, it just provides content. And I actually think once they're gone, once the bugs are gone, I'm going to miss them. Okay? I might be the only one, but I think I will actually, I will miss them.
Buster the Destroyer, she always says, these are the bad old days. You'll look back and remember these days as negative experiences.
I always want there to be a seat that if you sit on it, you become small. That needs to be in every day.
I will miss the protesting NPCs who are T-posing on chairs wherever they go. You know? Eralia, the more negative aspects, what are things that you don't like about the experience of Star Citizen? Even beyond the bugs.
So I'm on the bug train, the hype train for bugs, because it's kind of what it honestly fuels a lot of my content, whereas Anna has come up with a system for trump cards and like being productive. I normally, attempting to be productive and like doing something constructive with her time. I, on the other hand, don't do that, and I recruit people to find ways to do dumb things. So we'll load Tonks onto an 890 jump and kill a hammerhead, or like try to climb on the highest point and roll off ground vehicles, or come up with I come up with a random multiplayer game one time where someone's the dragon and everyone, in a fighter, they call them the dragon, like you're it, and then everyone else is ground vehicles, and you have to try to eliminate all the ground vehicles, and if one's left standing, they're the dragon. So coming up with the most absurd ways to play this game. So I am a fan of the bug, the glitchiness, and the chaos as well. So what I'm missing is depth. I know that's might be offensive as
someone, I agree.
Someone's a lore person.
I agree.
No, I agree too.
Your full-time job in the verse, you're known as the historian, right? The astro historian. You create, you uncover the lore. I don't have time for that. It's not my thing. You have time for it because you enjoy it. That's not my thing, therefore I don't have time for it. And I couldn't be bothered. If I encounter lore because I'm encountering NPCs, getting quests, which you can do in theory, but they're very surface level. I'm missing game, like the whole time you were telling Anna about the new studio and all the money, I was like seething. I was just sitting here like, wow, that's amazing. The biggest one in Europe. Where's our money going? Where's the game? I do not care if they have the biggest flipping mocap studio in all of the freaking galaxy. That does not matter to me. You can't use mocap if there's no freaking game to play. So anyways, that's it. It's my rant.
Yeah. I mean,
they were avidly working on Squadron the entire time I was there. By the way, they're working on that very fast, so that's something.
That's true. That's gonna change my perspective.
Really
I think a lot.
Squadron, yeah. I think you and I will are two streamers that will enjoy Squadron a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As someone who accidentally spoiled himself on the entirety of Squadron, yes, you will enjoy Squadron. I know the games you both of you played, and you will enjoy it. Just be prepared for emotional roller coasters. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, good. That's good. Well, Henry Cavill's in it, right?
Yes.
I'm already emotional.
There's no emotions because I go to speak to an NPC even behind the desk, and he says he's got no time to talk to me.
Yeah.
None of them want to talk to me.
I'd rather them do that than some of the boring ones that are just like, happy to see you. Welcome to whatever. I'm like, at least they're pissed because they're a grim
got a pretty good selection.
Yep. I think you're going to be happy with that.
Well, I mean, honestly, if that's the case, then the best NPC in the game is the one in Grimhex, who constantly is like, I'm not even supposed to be here. Put it back, and he's just the one that everyone wants to punch. Like the second that the green zone goes down, he's going to have the most. Like he's going to spend most of the time in the hospital because people are going to walk in and be like, "Remember me?" Boom. That's for being sassy. But I agree with Eralia. You were saying like there's just no like as a lore person, the lore is all on the website, and the one things that you'll hear all the people who are really into the lore is like, we'd love to see this in the game so you can experience it in the game, because it makes no sense to have all this deep lore when it's supposed to be a game. You're supposed to experience it and know about it and learn about it from NPCs and mission givers and those sorts of things to make you care about it, because there's this huge framework that it's just a frame. There's no picture in it. So this is some really nice wood in that frame, but it's just a frame, no picture. So,
nice wood.
It's nice wood.
Mocap. Biggest mocap wood that there ever was.
So let's think about this going forward. So again, that kind of rolls into the next part. What would you like to see from the Star Citizen experience to improve it in the near to long term? Eralia, since you're the last one to talk, what would you need? What would you like to see from Star Citizen?
Probably more gameplay loops expounded upon, so I can see like a purpose in doing the gameplay loops aside from like earning for the next ship. So like meaningful gameplay loops that give me a reason to partake in them. And I think that adds in like depth to characters, a reason for me to want to please this person, a reason for them to be upset at me for not doing something, like just general depth in gameplay.
So you're saying you don't want Anna to scream at you about screwing up the Luther mechs or whatever's going on.
Weapons free, y'all.
I think that's one of the best parts. Like, and obviously because Anna's doing it, and I love when Anna screams at me. It's great, but it does wonders. But no, like that is an example of an event that occurs, once a quarter or whatever, and everyone is playing. The category on Twitch is popping off. People have things to talk about. It's exciting. Like, that's actually one of the only things that that sounds bad. One of the biggest things to look forward to when it just in Star Citizen's natural state.
I don't think it's a bad thing to say, because I think the events are the best parts of Star Citizen right now, because they're experiences from beginning to end. So I'd agree with that. So, like, for instance, the Siege of Orison, that Anna's character, SIC Dooley, is kind of in charge of. The one thing that kind of makes me go, like, how you could improve this a little bit better is that in the lore, Dooley's from Orison. She was born and raised in Orison. So that's her home. So you'd expect, her to experience it more of as a this is my home getting invaded by a bunch of like criminals.
Mm-hmm.
like you know, like if you knew that, like she was like, this is the reason why it's important to me, because these assholes are blowing up my hometown. It would be a little bit like that context would be in there as well. But yeah, that's the experience.
Dooley just breaks down like, my family are dead.
She trauma dumps over comms.
Didn't fight hard enough. Get home. You're not my mercenary.
So yeah, so you're looking forward to like more gameplay loops and more like events and stuff like that. Aurelia?
I think gameplay loops. I was gonna say events get you so far. They carry us out until the next high. I always describe Star Citizen in waves. The highs and the lows because it's a developmental project, biggest indie game ever made. And I think that the events put us on a real big high. But then when they're not happening, they're just not happening. And it would be nice to have a sustainable threshold at which Star Citizen is always on, so that when we dip, it's not as low as like, I'm out. Like I'm waiting until 3:18. I'm waiting for the next thing. Like something for people to actually do throughout those lows.
To keep an even keel of gameplay experience to kind of get you through those highs and lows. So the valleys being being higher than they are right now in terms of experience.
Yeah, maybe like a prairie.
Yeah,
even it out a little bit.
Yeah, like nice Kansas. We need Kansas. We don't need Colorado. We need Kansas.
I don't need Death Valley. I need Colorado. Yeah.
Anna, what would you like to see in the future to improve the experience of Star Citizen? As an experience, what would you like to see?
Romance options right now.
Judy.
Actually, I mean, that was a half a joke. I think it would be actually cool if you had like your home base and you could like a romance a character and they could be like live with you. It'd be really sweet. I think it would be sweet to have something like that. A little bit like Fable. I don't know. I think that could be fun. But like aside from that, I think something similar to what Aurelia said, some kind of loop with the missions, or even like more of an urgency feeling about the stuff that you can do in game. So the only urgency and the only time that we really care are those events, because we've got someone telling us how much it matters. Right now, we can do a box mission or a bounty, and it still doesn't really feel like it matters because there's no stakes, really. No one's telling us about the stakes. So even if there was like, oh my God, can you go, even like, the missions where you got to go find someone in the cave, even if you just had someone, talking to you the whole way and making sure like, please can you come find him, and then you can literally pick, maybe they're not a body and maybe they're actually alive, and you got to pick them up and put them on your ship and take them home, and there's a cutscene and someone says thank you, or like just something where you really feel like, okay, I really want to get this done for this person, rather than it all feeling very blank. The NPCs are very blank. There's no they don't even talk to each other, let alone talk to you. Yes. It's just like feeling like those people are alive and what you're doing for other people, and because they're alive matters. I think would be really nice. I think I would like some cutscenes, actually. Is that weird? Like, at the end of a mission, just like a little cutscene or something where you get to see yourself, and just something like that. I love that element of, again, coming from a story console background. I love those elements of games because it feels very satisfying when you get to see something end, whatever pops up,
Yeah.
When it's finished, something like that. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think they try to do that in the cockpit when they like FaceTime you and it's their knees or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
So I just think that it's not very flushed out, and it's not quite a cutscene, but they do try to provide closure with like the NPC getting over the comms in your ship, and they're like, thanks for saving my life. They try, but it's just, I think it's so bad, Anna, that you just.
But it's also they're carbon copies of each other so much that everyone just turns it off. No one, people disable that feature, and no one listens to it. So like,
that's true. That's true. It's just bad. So
I mean, you mentioned like even talking to each other, because there's something I know it's something they've been working on, which is they want to have more people talking with one another, like NPCs talking with one another. But
I've recorded stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just not happening or whether it's still going to be happening, but I've recorded pages and pages of NPC chit chatter to each other at the bar and stuff like that.
It's in active development. They have monthly reports talking about it.
Lovely.
It's been done, but I think they're putting it in Squadron first to make it sure it works in Squadron, and then they're putting it into Star Citizen. And I mean, because it could like I think I would be in heaven if I accidentally bumped into an NPC and they just said, watch where you're going, and then continued walking, because that would be like, they recognize me, that they recognize that I exist in this world.
Yeah.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or when I stand in front of one and stare at them, maybe they just go, "What are you looking at?" Rather than
Yes.
just letting me stare at them for hours.
I'd love to see like you stare at them and they kind of like they sit there and they kind of look back at you very slowly and look at you like, what are you
Very
staring at
slowly,
me
yes.
for me? Because I know they could do that. That's something because NPCs, if you get too close to them, they will start to track you with their eyes. So you know,
Yeah.
There's something there. They've just been the brain's been sucked out, but there's
Yes.
something there.
just
Or they
by the
offer
light.
you a side quest
Yeah.
randomly, like, oh, hey, I've been looking for my jacket. Something stupid. It can be like, I'm really hungry. Can you go give me a hot dog? Like, whatever.
Like side conversations are another great thing, because you could say like did you hear about the crash of the beneficent turtle? Oh yeah, that it was carrying all this laranite and it crashed on Yella, but no one's been able to find it. Now suddenly you know that there's a crash site on Yella that you can go there. You can kind of look for it on your own, rather than being not even like a side question, but like the little pickup little audio cues to get you to those locations would be cool.
World building.
Yes, we're saying world building. And I think that's the best part.
The thing about urgency is funny, because I just remembered that me and Aurelia and I a couple of times have done like a bit of a collab where we've created a timed box mission, and I just noticed that was us creating urgency that is currently not there,
Yeah.
arguably.
And
Yeah.
it was
in
super
order
fun.
to make it in order to make it fun, all we did was just add a timer, and that suddenly created something to make it more. Just adding that urgency makes such a difference to feeling like it matters. It's just I realized I didn't even realize to put those two things together, but that was it's fun when we do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'd love to see even like a different NPC reaction to that, like where you have a timer where if you deliver the box on time, they're like, oh, great. But if you're late, they're like,
Yeah.
no bonus for
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Those sorts of, even, I mean, this is going to sound weird, but I would kill for a pizza delivery mission where I'm just delivering pizzas and it's a timer. And if you get a certain amount, you get a bonus.
People would love it. People
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Buster creates that. She like does hot dog deliveries and stuff. And
Yeah.
for sure. We create our own content, which is kind of how we world build on our own. We come up with things that we can do in the meantime, but there's only so much of that you can do. That's kind of where my quote problem is at the moment.
Is that it's just not enough, like, to use an analogy, this is a sandbox, and there's a lot of sand, but not enough tools to create that experience. There's not enough structure for that beyond just what we can come up with ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, give me new ways to break the game. Introduce a campfire like that you can build on Yella. I'll light people's cars on fire. Like literally just give me new things to break, because I just don't know what to do anymore.
I'd love a Molotov. Can we add Molotovs in?
There we go.
Love that.
Sure. That'd be great.
I mean, there's a famous feature in, I think, Crisis 2 where you could start brush fires by accident or on purpose.
Yes. I want to burn down the foliage on one of the moons.
Yeah.
Let me burn it.
Yeah, I was going to say, give Aurelia a campfire, and she'll burn half of Hurston down to a cinder because she accidentally left the campfire on for too long or whatever. Those sorts of situations would be fun.
Put the campfire on a ground vehicle and see if I can travel with it. And, I don't know, anything. I literally, my brain's wheels start just spinning. And I think that the last fun toy that they gave us, the newest update, was med pens when they did the medical rework, because loot's like the new thing, but that's not really adding anything. It's just letting you loot, which is, that's cool. I'm glad that they did that. But the last fun toy that they gave us was increased med pens. And then people started overdosing each other. And then it was really great. And then they took it away from us.
Yes, because people
they
use
were
it
just
to
like,
mug
you
other
would be in an
people.
elevator and they would stab you with a med pen, and then you pass out because the other person forced you to medically overdose on a oxygen or like whatever it was on health, and then you would die. And that was so funny, and then they took it away. So we just need more fun things to play with.
I fully agree with this. I understand why they took it away, but at the same time, it's like, being mugged at Grimhex because you weren't paying attention to where you were and you got drug overdosed is so on brand. I don't know why CIG would ever want us to stop that.
Dude, that happened to me. I was a victim of that at Grim. It was actually my first and only time that I played with Callie. It was several months ago, but I was playing with Callie Wally, and I was like on my way. I was carrying a box or something, and then I just pass out. And she is one of the sweetest human beings. No offense, Anna. Anna's literally one of the sweetest human beings. But she's another one of the sweetest human beings with like the cutest little voice. Like,
she's
so
been on the
nice.
Cabs table. I know she is. Yes, she's great.
And the person's running away, and she proxy comms them, and she's like, "Hey, get back here!" My voice is gone right now, so I can't replicate it. But it was the cutest, funniest thing. She was like, she was trying to get back. She's like, "Don't take her box. That's ours." And she chased them down. It was so funny. But yeah, that just brought so much joy, like this broken medical item,
Yeah. There was this famous moments where there was a glitch where you could accidentally you could smuggle a gun into green zones and use them.
Yes.
And
elevators.
People used to like smuggle them into like Port Olisar. And it was like Doom music begins playing because it was just like someone got a shotgun in and just like everyone's dying now. Everyone is dying inside that station because NPCs, players, it does not matter. Everything is going to die. And as much as it's chaos, it's also kind of fun because it introduces an element of that was not expecting that to happen here. All right.
I mean, yeah, like if customs worked. There's customs ports everywhere in cities, and like if they actually scanned you and the security were to be on alert if you actually like brought in a weapon or something you're not supposed to, an illegal man-portable air defense system, I don't know, some crazy BS like that. And just
So that's those sorts of elements.
Also, the thing, sorry, just really quick, like the racetrack and stuff that is just randomly around the verse that is not necessarily explicitly talked about, and you just kind of like find it. I love stuff like that. They should have more Easter eggs, I think, and the Christmas grotto and stuff like that. I love those bits. And if there's more of those where it's like, hey guys, it's on one of these 3 moons, go find it. More of those just added every now and again. I don't think it would take too much from them to like add random little bits and bobs, and then we go find them. Love that stuff. I love that.
Yeah, the excitement when they revealed the river. Sorry, I just like the more. Everyone was so excited. It was like a scavenger hunt. It just all comes back to like more things.
More things.
And I think you'd also for like in terms of like a development side of things, getting developers tools and saying, hey, make something fun. Like because you've seen that with the go-kart thing that they're going to be doing here shortly. With that was completely done on their own. The snake track, the snake pit, which is completely done on their own for fun. Giving developers to say, hey, here are some tools, make something fun in the universe, in the world. They'll come up with cool little side things, little aspects that people can find and play around with, or at least be an event, be a place to go to, because. I think sightseeing is a legitimate gameplay. Like a lot of people don't realize, but like there is, for instance, Bennyhenge that a lot of people, most people don't know about, but Bennyhenge unless you get taken there. So, and those sorts of things being added to the game would make the game a lot more rich. I agree. So,
because.
Right. Go ahead.
No, go on. Go on. Go.
No. I was going to wrap it up. So if you have something else to say, go for it.
I'm talking nonsense. Carry on.
No, go for it.
Well,
we want to hear.
Go ahead.
Now we need to hear it.
No, you first. No, you hang up.
I started thinking about something too. I forgot what it was. No, I'm just kidding. Well, like, what if they added those kinds of things, those explorative things, and just didn't tell anyone about it? Like they announced the river, they announced, XYZ. What if they've
just put something in and we'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I found a fruit tree. What was it? A microtech?
Oh, the
microtech
tree. The tree with the fruit. It's like one of them or something.
Yes, I wasn't even looking. I was not even looking. I was not aware. I wasn't like sent on like the spiritual journey with my Sherpa to find the fruit tree. I was literally just ground vehicle racing, and we were out in the snow dunes or whatever you call those. And I freaking found this random fruit tree. I was like, what? And there were so many people in chat that were like, what? And people knew. They were like, that's the holy tree. That's this kind of fruit. This kind of. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. But Oh my God. Like that was so cool. Maybe they've been doing that all along. We just don't go and try to, they haven't been doing it. There's no way.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much they have done, but they haven't put it in the game. Like, for instance, there's this, if you remember the tree from citizencon, they were talking about, oh yeah, this tree, we made it for something else, we never got in there. There's a full lore explanation of to what that tree is and why it's able to live on basically dead worlds. And I've been waiting for them to like introduce it into the verse in a way that you could actually harvest it, because Revenant Tree sap or tree pollen, one of the two, is one of the commodities you can get. And that's what it is. It's a Revenant Tree. It's called Revenant Tree because it literally cannot be killed. It can live in any aspect, any soil. It can live in almost airless environments. But it's basically just a weed. It's almost impossible to kill, but it has almost no value except for it can be turned into drugs. So it's very valuable to drug companies and not so legitimate drug companies. So it's a cool little aspect, and the lore's been there for a while, and there looks like they're adding it for pyro. It'd be cool to like be able to stumble upon that and them go, oh, this is a weird looking tree. I can harvest it, and then someone will be like, oh, that's drug tree. Welcome to the drug tree. enjoy the sap.
And then you start tripping like in GTA, like it's like peyote cactus or whatever.
Does that include also the little vegetable fruit thing that looks like a butthole?
Yes, the butthole fruit.
The butthole fruit, yeah.
Yes, that's the.
It makes me uncomfortable looking at it. I don't know. It's like a pine cone crossed with something fleshy. I don't.
Yeah.
It makes me feel weird.
It looks like fleshy. A pine cone mixed with like a papaya, but like a papaya with a hard pine cone exterior, which is just weird.
I don't understand the textures. What are the textures?
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't like that
It's
at
a
all.
space fruit. It's a space fruit. I don't even know where it's from, but it's a space fruit.
Huh.
Well, what I was going to say was, I was like, sometimes, so like whenever, because I stream many different games throughout the week and Star Citizen is my like only constant, new people from different kind of gaming backgrounds would join the stream at different times. So when it comes to that weekly Star Citizen stream, sometimes there's a lot of new people that have never seen Star Citizen before by the time it gets to Friday, because they've joined me earlier in the week for Plague Tale, or they join me early in the week for Metro, or whatever it is, and then they come here and they're like, okay, what's this game? And it's always so interesting to see what it is that they pick up on first from someone that has never seen gameplay of it before. And something that is across the board constant is how beautiful it is. No one ever says this game looks trash. No one has ever said that, because it looks stunning, and it's just beautiful. And I think everyone can agree on that, at least. But one person said, I think it was a couple of days ago, they said, can you craft in this? Because where's like literally take my money and ask me where they could buy it, thinking that they could start building a base or like building a home or something, you know, on one of the planets. And that was the one thing that they wanted, was that they would have bought it then and there if they could have built something. And that's the first time I actually thought about that. But I know that's what they want to plan on doing in the future. But that was the thing that they just wanted the most.
So it's funny that you say that, because the first time I was on the podcast, that was what I said I wanted to add to the game. He asked me the same question. This time I kind of changed it, and I was like, just freaking gameplay, man, literally anything. But the last time I was a lot more specific, and I said I want crafting. Yeah. I am wholly agreeing with you and that person and the people that say that. I was like, literally give me anything. Give me sticks to collect. Give me a campfire to build. That's why I said the campfire this time. But 100%, give me something to build and I will love it. I will love it forever.
I'm going to head this off as well, because the last time that was talked about as well, there was a lot of comments in the YouTube thing about like, I don't want crafting. I don't think anyone here wants you to be able to take 2 rocks and a stick and turn it into an AK-47. That's not the kind of crafting we're talking about.
No, but like building.
Yeah.
Building, even like, I wonder if building a like I know Starfield. Oh, let's talk about Starfield. But like building a spaceship or building. Yeah. Oh, have you played it already?
No, but I'm looking forward to it. So like, I actually do Starfield lore is my other thing I do.
I'm
as well,
so interested to see whether all of the things that the trailer and what they're mentioning is going to be applicable. It'll be so interesting. It'll be so interesting.
But Starfield, not just because I'm sure Starfield's going to have not just base building, but you know, manufacturing components or weapons or ammo or something like that. I'd love to see something like that in Star Citizen. I know it's going to be there, but we don't know to what granular degree. We know just bases, but we don't know, can you make weapons? Can you make ammo? Can you make suits? Can you make components? You know, I doubt we'll be able to
Farming.
make ships. Yeah.
Give me a space hoe to hoe the land, if you know what I'm saying.
Sorry, what?
Give me a space hoe to plow my land with. You know,
That'd be
like
I think that should be your YouTube title, AstroPub. You could just put "Give me a space hoe."
Give me a space hoe.
Like dash line interview with Anna and Eralia.
it's true. I will grow butthole fruit any day. You know, like I would be so happy if I can plow some land, plant some seeds, and eat it to regain my health. But it's something that I
you've got
made.
the word plow, hoe, and butthole in one sentence, and and we need to stop this right
You
now.
forgot to plant seeds.
And the seeds.
I had to give a sentence that was absolutely bannable. But no, seriously, if I can grow my own fruit and eat it in combat, you know how freaking cool that would be. And like maybe it's special and it gives you some sort of buff or something. Like,
hey,
I am a simple gal.
I've been a proponent of cooking as a gameplay loop forever. So if you have cooked a nice meal, it'll decrease your health, your food meter, prevent your food meter from going down much faster, so you can be out longer in exploration and like give you better, like slight better for running and those sorts of things. Because that would be A, cool, and B, give a reason for people to cook and to actually care other than just hot dog in mouth, I'm done, we're good. You know? Gives it more depth and it gives it people more care, because someone could be like, listen, I know this recipe. I don't know how I learned it. You know, like some chef told them on a planet. So now they have this recipe in game where they can make like spaghetti and meatballs and, alien spaghetti and meatballs. And you can only get it from this chef. And now they have it and it gives them, health bar 200, 300% food meter for 2
I would
hours.
love microwave meals where you could go to like a supermarket and buy a microwave meal and take it onto your ship and then have a microwave in the ship. So if you're hungry mid-space, you could go microwave some noodles or something.
Yeah, same with the coffee. If you actually made coffee and it gives you an energy bonus for like 10 minutes or something like that.
I mean, that adds enough depth to the universe to make it much more engaging. And, including being space farmer Eralia with planting seeds and harvesting butthole fruits. That whole aspect is something I know people who are probably in chat right now or who are watching this right now, that's their entire hope for Star Citizen, is they want to find a place on some planet out of nowhere, build a farm and just live there. Like that's all they want to do.
Cough at Salty Mike.
I mean, yeah, isn't that Mike's
It's literally his dream. He's told me.
Yeah.
He's told chat that many times. Farmer Mike.
He just wants to be a farmer on a remote world. There's plenty of people.
That's what I want to do. A lot of appeal for that. We want that. That's what we want. Give it to us. And give it to me. And I was gonna say, in regards to the eating a hot dog, like you mentioned that briefly, Paul, but you were like, oh yeah, you eat a hot dog and you're good. I'm not gonna lie. Half the time, I don't even eat food. I just backspace. So that all feeds into each other. It feeds into a loop. I'm like, okay, free food and water at the hospital. Fine, I'll just lay down and like steal food from the hospital, which is not really what I would do in real life, theoretically. But like it all feeds into each other with like the death gameplay loop. Death needs to be more meaningful. Like it all builds into like fundamental problems of like, if death was more meaningful, I would be less scared to die and I would lose limbs or, death of a spaceman. Like I'd be more worried about eating food or growing food to eat, to access, because I wouldn't just be able to go lay down and mooch food from the hospital or backspace,
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, I think that's just more of an aspect of they want to do that, but the game's not quite built yet. So let's just wrap this up with actually a big question. With as Star Citizen is right now, as an experience, would you suggest this to anybody who, isn't a online MMO kind of person? Let's start with you there, Eralia. Would you suggest this for someone to buy Star Citizen as the experience as it is right now?
I would almost rather recommend this to someone who is more on Anna's side, who plays for the experience and isn't an MMO person, over someone who actually is an MMO person, because I feel like they're going to be missing out on a lot of the parts that they treasure in MMOs. Yeah, and I think that there's still things for people that play MMOs because you can grind for ships and things like that, but a lot of that can be canceled out with like the monetary side of it. So, yeah.
Okay. Anna, same question.
Oh, you know what? I see this question as personality based
Okay.
because it's like I think there's so much to be said for appreciating Star Citizen from somebody that understands how difficult video games are to make, how much they actually have achieved, how difficult it is to create what Star Citizen has got right now. So if someone understands how something can be appreciated for the state that it's in, rather than there's like a big kind of like wave slash section of gamers that I'm gonna just use the word entitlement, where I feel it's like I am paying this flat fee and there better be the best game I have ever played right now in front of me, and if it's not, you are the worst devs in the world and it's a scam and like all this stuff. But there's a lot of people that are now like, okay, look, it's 2022. This is how much I pay for a game. It better be perfect, and if it's not, fuck you. And like, I don't think I wouldn't recommend Star Citizen to someone with that attitude. You know, someone that's gonna like picking up a AAA game now and is happy because yes, it's what I want it to be. But if someone can go, okay, look, I know it's not finished, but holy crap, this is beautiful, and I can get something from this. And I might die in the elevator, but I can fly to this planet and it's gorgeous, and that ship is mine. And you know, I think that it would be based on someone's either patience or what they appreciate about games. And that's why I think I can handle it, because I'm seeing the little things, and I'm seeing it from a craftsmanship point of view, not from an expectation point of view. That is my answer. It went a little bit deeper than I thought, but that's
fine. It's a pretty typical answer. I think that a lot of content creators will say, which is like it really depends on the personality of the person looking at it, because there's plenty of people who are like, I buy a game that I want to experience right now. Like I want this to be done. Like buy the game because they care about the game at the end of the day, rather than caring about the whole process upon which that game is made, which is like the difference I'd say between a typical person who buys like a AAA title versus someone who buys an early access title. Because there's definitely that kind of person who's an early access who are like, I've played worse games and play Star Citizen or play other games.
Absolutely,
and be like,
absolutely.
You know, bugs, it doesn't really matter. I'm looking here for what is this game trying to tell me? So I guess.
And you know, something telling, it'll be my last little comment,
Go for it.
is I actually started with Star Citizen, not playing MMOs either, Anna, but I started playing MMOs after starting Star Citizen, and I have continued with none of them, but I keep playing Star Citizen.
Interesting.
So I have over time, like the reason I said my comment is because like I've over time grown to appreciate like MMOs because of the questing and the things that they can provide. Like I kind of educated on myself on what an MMO quote should be, like where they're trying to go with like a lot of the things. But yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you there that it is for someone like I still come back to Star Citizen, but I don't play WoW or any of those other games as much. So
wow.
Yeah, that's a common thing I've heard as well. So many people being like, I'll play other games, but I always come back to Star Citizen because no other game has what Star Citizen has for that experience. So
interesting. That's fascinating in itself. Next week on why do people keep coming back?
Yeah, I mean that is an entire like show in and of itself, or an entire discussion of like why
Stockholm
do people
syndrome
keep coming back. Yes, sunk cost fallacy, Stockholm syndrome, or is there something
Stockholm syndrome,
or is it something more?
Has kidnapped me, and now I love it.
All right. Well, with that, thank you for Eralia and Anna. Eralia. I said it once. I screwed it up once. Eralia and Anna for coming on and talking about the Star Citizen experience. Make sure that you are checking out both of them on their Twitch streams. It's twitch.tv/Eralia, right? Just as it's spelled up there. Okay. And it's is it Anna_Demetriou, or is it just Anna D?
Just my name. It's just my name.
All
There's
one
no one
word?
on Twitch with it, apparently. So
yeah, all one word, or is there an underscore between the Anna and Demetriou, or
it's just Anna Demetriou /Anna Demetriou.
There we go. Go check that out. And if you were watching this after the fact, come join us live on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Now it's a little bit funky because time zones have changed, or the daylight savings times changed over. But come join us there. You can come join us because we're going to be rolling right into the question and answer session. And for those of you watching after the fact, if you look just above Eralia's head, you'll see a link. That link will be a link to the question and answer session, which will be released right away, right afterwards, when this has gone live on YouTube. So you can click it and go right on there. But for those of you watching live, stick around because we'll be doing question and answers with Eralia and Anna here in just a few minutes. But like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.